fundamentally, you've got to be really focused on asking yourself the question, is this any good? Has this been created to travel? Does it satisfy my needs, or does it satisfy an audience need? And we're all slightly guilty sometimes of doing things that we want to do, or that, things that are route one to saying, hey, I'm a law firm, here's some law things that exist. It's like, that solves a problem for you. You're explaining your product, but it doesn't really solve a problem for consumers. And anybody that creates content has got to be audience focused. And I think a lot of branded content can be poor sometimes because they don't have that focus on audience. It's not advertising. Content isn't advertising. It's something different. And you've got to take cues from broadcasters or content creators and think about why they're doing the things that they're doing. So I think what Mr. Beast does is he takes the sort of familiarity that a lot of YouTubers have with their audience and the fact that they are quite close to being their audience in age and attitude. And then what he's stapled onto that is like super high expensive production values. So there's always been YouTubers doing pranks and that kind of stuff. He'll do a prank, but he'll spend $500,000 on it, or he'll give away 100 grand, or he'll give away 40 cars. I was watching one of those videos the other day. And it's partly it's a natural evolution, but also it's very brave. It's very brave to come up with a new model for that. And his model is get loads of views, make loads of money through YouTube AdSense, spend that on videos and repeat, knowing that actually a lot of the money comes from back catalog. So if you spend the money you earn on a video over, say, 3 months, for him, that might be $2 million. He can spend that on his next video. But then that video over the next 12 months will earn more money because it's sitting on in the background. I think actually that's interesting. It's a different way of thinking about it, a different way of investing time and effort and cash. And the video he recently did that a lot of people picked up on was that he recreated Squid Game in YouTube. So if you've seen the Netflix TV show, he did a very high production value version of all those games, and he got hundreds of people to play them. It looked amazing. And he did loads of things in that which me as a traditional content person wouldn't have done. So if I'd spent I think he spent something like $3.8 million on this video. So if I'd spent that much money, I would have knocked out like 10 videos and how-tos and behind the scenes and like all of that stuff. But actually, what for him and his audience, they love exciting things, but it's more disposable. So they're been and done and gone, and they're on to the next thing. And that really made me think about, again, being listener focused or audio focused or consumer focused. How do the audience consume media? What's the best place to reach them? Now, he's also in a position where he has a singular platform in YouTube and a little bit of social that supports it. And when he drops something new, everyone sees it. And he's a superstar. So he's the Tom Cruise equivalent of YouTube. So when we drop something, it makes that real impact. Whereas I think a lot of us don't have that platform. We don't have the ability to reach everyone straight away. And we've got to think more tactically about our content, both in cost and in distribution. Advertising works when you get repetitive messages from multiple sources. That's probably key to all advertising. So having him drip fed 30 times on TikTok or Reels, it makes it at least front of mind.
Yeah.
I used to have a colleague who did an internal course, and he would say, he'd get everyone and sit them down and say, okay, and he'd pick someone and go, name me as many shoe brands, like sneaker trainer brands as you can. 1, 2, 3, go. And then he did the same with soap and detergent and other consumer goods. And what happens? You can name 3 or 4, and then you can't think of any others, even though in the supermarket there's 50 or 60 that are in front of you. And staying front of mind and being a choice and being at the top of people, one of those top 3 that people think about is hugely important.